races without having to apologize for it, and now they do. And I think that's the biggest problem that a lot of NASCAR fans are having. And then there are others like me who really have a hard time watching someone take a knee. Again, I don't want these people ordered to stand, okay? I don't want the athletes to be told what to do because they're not puppets. They are allowed to protest if they want.
Right.
They talk about removing the flag because it might make people uncomfortable. Seeing that makes me uncomfortable. And a lot of the same people that would cheer on all of the moves that NASCAR are making would tell you that the American flag itself and the national anthem itself are also racist and want to get rid of it. And that's what I don't understand.
Yeah, for sure. We can talk about this subject here later on in our final segment with Dennis Michelsen. But right now we got to go to the phone lines, and we are going to get on our first guest of the evening joining us. And, of course, that is going to be Mr. Bob Lowery. And Bob Lowery is the proud promoter now and owner of what is the Carteret County Speedway, Bobby Watson's Carteret County Speedway, and Bob Lowery, such an awesome individual, such a nice man. I've worked many racing events at Carteret County Speedway over the years. As a matter of fact, I had even offered my services for this upcoming weekend's events, and again, just not able to have him joining us on the program right now, but he is on the line with us now. A busy day doing things with the media as well in the coastal Carolina area. Bob Lowery, welcome to Full Throttle. How you doing, my friend? It's been a while.
Wesley, I hope y'all are too. I hope your fans are doing great, man, and we're ready to go racing, buddy.
I know that, like everyone else, especially in the short track racing industry, this has been a long time coming. Definitely a lot of preparation and a lot of protocol being followed for this race at Carteret County.
Yes, sir. We sure have. We stepped it up a notch, and we've implemented above and beyond what the recommendation is of our local health authorities and our local law enforcement. We've gone so far as just taping off the bleachers, sanitation stations, temperature gauges to take folks' temperature when they come in. Of course, we'll just practice social distancing the best that we possibly can. And, just use a lot of common sense, too, at the same time, Wesley.
Bob Lowery from Carteret County Speedway is joining us. Dennis Michelsen, I will let you ask a question here in a moment. But, Mike, I got a question for you, Bob.
Yes, sir.
With everything that's happening with Robert and Jason Turner at Ace Speedway, they just got a temporary restraining order. They had to cease operations because of North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. Is there any fear going into the race Saturday of that happening to Carteret County?
Well, and I can't speak wholeheartedly for what Robert and Jason has done up there. I know that they were ahead of the ball game, and they're like a lot of business people in North Carolina, Wesley. It's hard to survive being shut down this long and seeing other businesses such as Walmart, Lowe's, the beach, other businesses are able to go forward, and they're trying to go forward and that's about all I know about their situation. But looking at our situation down here, what we're doing is going forward with the safest measures in place that we possibly can. And then that's all I know to do.
Dennis Michelsen.
Bob, I get the pleasure every December to host the Racetrack Business Conference for the National Speedway Directory and Mr. Tim Frost. And one thing we always talk about are track days and how that's a finite number. Can you explain to folks how losing this big chunk of dates, you can't get them back, and you're going to lose some more due to weather? Can you explain how big of a loss this is to the short track community and your track especially?
Wow, it's monumental, not only financially, emotional, and folks are just, there's a big frustration about it. And, but you're right, you can't get these races back that you have, canceled or they have shut down. And we're going to try to, readjust our schedule a little bit later on. But the main thing is right now you've got paid employees, you've got businesses here, you've got families that you're trying to provide, and that weighs a lot on our shoulder. It's not just Bob Lowery. It's the folks that work for me. It's the sponsors that, they entrust their money to you to promote them. And it's just difficult because you've got so many things coming at you. So and I feel for all the businesses. It's not just Short Tracks, but right now Short Tracks has took a devastating hit. And I look forward to the day here real shortly and everybody coming together, getting together for one common purpose, to get this state back open, get it rolling again, and get all businesses back open, and just goes across the board.
CarteretCountySpeedway.com, the website. Go ahead, Dennis. I'm sorry.
No. Just Bob. One thing I want to ask is I want to get an idea of how things are out there in your neck of the woods, because around here, with some of my friends in the speedway business over on the Indiana side, when they deal with the politicians tell them, well, we don't have any auto racing, that goes on in our county. And that was said by a state legislator over in Indiana, whose home county is the home of Hoosier Tire and Rubber Company. And it's just amazing to me how, these politicians sometimes don't realize the impact that you guys have on a local community. Can you explain a little bit to some of the politicians who might actually be tuning in tonight, how much they're hurting the small towns in the short track community, but also the small businesses that rely on you for their income?
Well, and they are impacting our local businesses in a major way, because of course when we hold a race, we have drivers, we have crews that come from out of town that stay in the hotels right next close to Carteret County Speedway where we're located. We have folks that come there and patronize the restaurants. They patronize this whole area down here. And right now, everybody is on a standstill, and they've got businesses actually hurting because of Carteret County Speedway. Our local gas station, we had the pleasure and the honor of holding the INEX Nationals, Asphalt Nationals last year. And I'm telling you, when I go out into town, it was time and time again, the local businesses would say, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob, for bringing them folks here. And they really made a difference in our bottom line this year. So, they really need to think hard about, when they're trying to legislate and do this stuff, are we doing this, just for political gain? Because seeing at the end of the day, you're affecting lives, you're affecting, families. And I've got several friends that had to go out of business because of this shutdown. And so what we're trying to do is move forward surely but slowly and implement all the safety programs that we possibly can, Dennis.
Again, a special time for sure for Carteret County Speedway backup operations. Bob, you have had to carry on the legacy of what the great Bobby Watson did. I mean, he passed away a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Where do you feel like you're going with that? Because not only are you doing things your way, but you're also doing things to pay homage and respects in the memory of Bobby Watson.
Well, what we say at Carteret County Speedway, we're keeping Bobby's dream alive. We actually got a banner on the back straightaway that says, keeping the dream alive. Bobby gave his life. He gave from sun up to sundown. He worked on this speedway. Humpy Wheeler, some of the folks that have been out and seen us, we've got quotes from them saying this is one of the nicest facilities in the country. And Bobby, I like to say, really did the hard work. My job is to really pretty much maintain what he built, market it to such a way that everybody gets to enjoy it. We're very big on our military. We're between two military bases, Camp Lejeune and Cherry Point. We're big on our flag. We're big on America itself. And so that's because Bobby was. And we're keeping that dream alive the best that we possibly can. The track is looking 100%. My team has been working on it tirelessly. So when we do get the green light ready to roll, hopefully it'll be Saturday night, 6:00, and it'll be ready, and the patrons will come in, the fans will come in and say, hey, man, this is continuing to be one of the nicest tracks out there.
Yeah, Bob, how weird is it going to be, though, for everyone, the drivers, the and everyone there at the track
Mhm.
to see these races. And man, when you come off of turn 4 and take the checkers in any division, everybody's on their feet. They go nuts. How weird is it going to be to have that silence of empty grandstand?
Wow, man. Well, let me tell you something. It's not the same by no means. We're having to cut down to a capacity, but like I said, we'll have fans, but not to the capacity, of course, as Robert and Jason had them. I was at that race. I was at one of Robert's when Jason's race up there in the 8th Speedway, and let me tell you something. That was one of the greatest events because of the situation, because of they being able to get back that I've ever been to in my life. Everybody felt good. They felt safe. The camaraderie was back. And we look forward to that time when our stands can be packed too again. And but right now, just the opportunity. We had practice out today. Folks came out and tested and tuned a little bit, and even that was excited. Next door neighbors were coming out. People were, coming out taking pictures. And it was just practice, but they're just tickled to hear them motors. And the drivers are excited to get back out there. And let me tell you something. The drivers, the ones that were out there, 12 years old, 10 years old, 8 years old.
Wow.
And then, of course, you had the gentlemen there because they were there as families. They weren't out tearing nobody's stuff up. They weren't out breaking into anything. They were out there as a family unit having good, wholesome fun and enjoying the outside right there at Carter County Speedway.
I've always said you can't afford to get into trouble when you're in racing because you're always broke from spending too much on racing.
That's right.
Hey, that's a great point there, buddy. I can tell you that. But what we do at Bobby Watson's Carter County Speedway, we try to keep that in mind, believe it or not, and we try to hold the cost down for the driver the best that we possibly can. We let kids 10 and under free. Our ticket prices are $15 to get in. And so, we make it affordable for folks to have that good time.
Hey, Bob, final question for you, bud, before we let you go. What other events have you got going on this 2020 season when you finally do get the green flag, hopefully Saturday night, when you get back to racing again?
Man, let me tell you something. Of course, we got the Cars Tour that's going to be bouncing into Carter County Speedway on July the 11th, and you know what they do? They bring a crowd with them.
Oh, yeah.
They bring a lot of excitement. I won't mention no names, but that should be a good shootout when they come back together between Josh Berry and Bobby McCartney.
Yeah.
So much for not mentioning names.
Good
Everybody
plug,
knows
Bob.
it already.
Good plug there, Bob. So you got the Cars Tour. Another big event you guys do is that Solid Rock Carriers limited late model race, and it's $10,000 to win last year. That's growth to be something big too.
That's exactly right. That's a big race, and we want to say we appreciate Kurt and all he does for short track racing, and that's where he's leaning to, is that short track racing. I won't even go into NASCAR or anything like that, but hometown race. I think hometown racing short tracks just got better.
For sure.
It just got better. He improved our numbers the other day when they did what they did, and so we're excited about that. Also, in December, we'll have the richest purse that's ever been paid out, and that's kind of a surprise thing coming along Christmas. It's like a Christmas present. It's called the Christmas Clash coming up in December, and it's one you don't want to miss. And it's bigger than the $10,000 Solid Rock job.
Wow, holy smokes. So well, we got to let you go, though, Bob, because we got to get Terry Deal from Orange County Speedway on next. But my final my final statement is, is the plan to continue? Dennis started that conversation of, hey, you missing so many races, and now you're starting in mid-June. Is the plan to try to run into November, December, if need be?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We've got the weather down here that handles that.
That's true.
When we're not up north, our winters around here are pretty mild right up to December. We've been on Christmas Day and have short sleeve shirts on.
That's right.
So, so we're blessed for that from that aspect. And if Mother Nature cooperates, which she hasn't so far on a couple of races, but that's one thing you can't contend with that. You can't beat that. You just have to roll with it and move on to the next one. But if the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, we're going to be racing all year long, and we look forward to it. Thank y'all so much for allowing me this opportunity to get on here and speak with y'all. And I look forward to seeing Wesley and look forward to seeing you one of these days, my friend Dennis.
You betcha. That's a place to take a racecation to for us out of towners,
That's
man.
right, that
Just
racecation. Yes, sir.
hey, Bob.